wondering why certain people treated you as though you were simply not enough. Why they dismissed your presence, undermined your efforts, or made you feel as though you were fading into the background of your own life. I want to share something with you now, a psychological insight so foundational that once you truly absorb it, you will never look at human behavior the same way again. What if the way those people treated you had almost nothing to do with you at all? What if their coldness, their contempt, their cruelty was in truth a mirror reflecting something they could not bear to confront within their own interior world? Stay with me, because by the end of what I share here, you will understand the concealed psychology behind patterns of mistreatment. And more importantly, you will begin to see why these dynamics entered your life in the first place. This is not about assigning fault. This is a journey toward liberation. And the understanding I am about to offer has the power to free you from a cycle you may have been living inside for far longer than you realize. Let us begin with the truth that most people are never told. You have experienced being treated poorly. Perhaps it was a parent who never truly acknowledged your worth. Perhaps it was a partner who reduced you with their words, friends who violated what you thought was trust, or people in positions of authority who worked against you rather than beside you. You have asked yourself, probably more times than you can count, what did I do wrong? Why does this keep happening to me? Is there something fundamentally broken inside me? In the framework of analytical psychology, I want you to hear this clearly. Those questions, as sincere as they are, have been pointed in the wrong direction entirely. The treatment you experienced was neither arbitrary nor a reflection of your inherent value. What I have come to understand through decades of exploring the human psyche is that patterns of cruelty and diminishment follow deeply predictable psychological currents. Currents that have nothing to do with what a person is fundamentally worth. And yet, here is where things become more layered, because I also discovered something that many people find deeply uncomfortable to hear. We unconsciously participate in these patterns, not because we want pain, not because we are broken, but because of something inherited, something unexamined, something residing in the deeper strata of the mind, in what I call the unconscious. And until we bring that hidden architecture into the light, we will continue to find ourselves in rooms with the same kinds of people, wondering why the story never seems to change. If you find that resonates, if you have felt that pull toward the familiar, even when the familiar has hurt you, drop the number 11 in the comments below. 11 is a threshold number, a number that appears when you are standing at the edge of a significant shift. And right now, you are. Because I once said something that I believe holds more truth than most people are prepared to receive. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Let that settle for a moment. Do not rush past it. What I have observed through working with countless individuals over the course of my life is that human beings operate from two distinct planes of awareness simultaneously. There is the conscious mind, the part you can access, the thoughts you are aware of having. And then there is the unconscious mind, the vast, submerged architecture that governs as much as 95% of your behavior, your choices, your emotional responses, and the invisible signals you send out into every relationship you enter. The unconscious carries everything you have suppressed, everything you were told was unacceptable, everything that was too painful, too threatening, too shameful to hold in the light. I have a name for this accumulated shadow material: the shadow. And the shadow does not simply sit quietly beneath the surface. It moves, it shapes, it draws people toward you and repels others. It communicates in a language you do not consciously speak, something about what you expect from the world, what you believe you deserve, and what feels emotionally familiar even when it causes harm. Here is the insight that changes everything. The people who treated you poorly were not responding to your conscious intentions or your stated values. They were responding to something invisible, the unresolved material you were unknowingly projecting, your unhealed wounds, the aspects of yourself you had pushed into the darkness. The needs you had been taught were too much. These individuals were drawn to you, and you to them, through a kind of psychological gravity that neither party was aware of. This entire process is completely beneath the surface of awareness. The person who dismissed you or belittled you did not wake up and consciously decide to target you. And you did not consciously invite harm. And yet, the dynamic unfolded, orchestrated by forces neither of you could see. This is what I call the dance of the shadow. And once you recognize it, you cannot unsee it. One of the most revealing truths I have encountered in understanding human relationships is this: we do not see people as they truly are. We encounter them through the aperture of our own unconscious projections. I call this shadow projection, and it is the mechanism at the heart of why patterns of mistreatment persist across different relationships, different circumstances, different chapters of life. Every person carries a shadow, those elements of themselves they have rejected, been told are unworthy, or learned to conceal. Perhaps you were raised in an environment where expressing anger was seen as something base or threatening, so you learned to suppress it completely. Perhaps you were taught, implicitly or explicitly, that your needs were an inconvenience, so you learned to deny them. These rejected elements do not disappear. They descend into the unconscious and wait. And what we cannot own within ourselves, we project outward onto others. But observe the paradox closely. We also attract individuals who appear to embody the very qualities we have disowned. If you suppressed your anger, you will find yourself surrounded by individuals who seem to carry it for you. If you rejected your capacity for strength and self-assertion, you will attract those who use control and dominance. If you silenced your own voice for so long that you forgot what it sounded like, you will draw toward you people who continue that silencing. The individual who treated you poorly was very likely projecting their own shadow material onto you. They perceived something in you that they despised within themselves, something they could not acknowledge as their own, and so they directed that energy outward. This is precisely why those who operate from unconscious patterns so often accuse others of the very things they themselves embody. The individual who manipulates accuses you of being dishonest. The person who is emotionally withholding tells you that you are too needy. The one who is cold and